Imagine being disowned by your parents for chasing your dreams. Imagine being bullied so badly that you stopped taking photos altogether. Now, imagine transforming into one of the most iconic supermodels only to walk away at your peak. This is the real-life story of Yasmeen Ghauri. Today, we're diving into the life of Yasmeen, the first South Asian supermodel who broke barriers, then vanished from the spotlight. From her groundbreaking career to her sudden exit, Yasmeen's story is nothing short of legendary. Yasmeen wasn't just a name, she was a mystery. A woman who shattered stereotypes while fiercely guarding her private life. Called a diva and perfectionist, she hated the term supermodel and attention, yet became one of the most recognizable faces of the 90s. Then, after ruling the runways, she disappeared. No scandals, just gone. Why would anyone walk away from such fame and fortune? The humble beginnings Yasmeen was born in 1971 in Montreal, to a German mother and a Pakistani father who was an imam. Growing up in a strict religious household, her life revolved around modesty and discipline. Her childhood wasn't easy. As the only brown-skinned girl in a white school, Yasmeen faced relentless bullying. People used to call me chocolate cake face and hideous things, and the usual model problems, skinny, gawky, kind of ugly. By 12, her self-esteem was so damaged that she stopped taking photos. When I was younger, I hated having my picture taken. By the time I turned 12, there's no more pictures of me in the family album. Can you imagine a future supermodel hiding from cameras? The irony is almost painful. The same girl who thought she was ugly would redefine beauty standards and grace Vogue covers. The breakthrough. At 17, Yasmeen was working at McDonald's when hairdresser Edward Zachariah spotted her. He saw potential where nobody else did and told her she should model. She thought it was a joke. "You're not joking with me?" Because it's not funny. After signing with an agency, success didn't come overnight. Being ethnic, when I started in Montreal, I didn't really work. I had maybe 6 bookings because nobody understood my look. It was too ethnic. But when she moved to New York in 1990, everything changed. Designers like Karl Lagerfeld, Valentino, and Versace finally recognized her unique beauty. Versace said, "She's very young, she has lots of life, and she has this beauty that is really unbelievable." The walk that changed everything. Yasmeen's walk wasn't just a strut, it was an event. The New York Times described it as having a ball bearing in her hips. Watching her glide down the runway was like poetry in motion. Her olive skin, dark eyes, and striking features challenged the industry's narrow beauty standards. In an era dominated by blonde-haired, blue-eyed models, Yasmeen stood out not just for her exotic looks, but for her sheer presence. Soon, she became the face of Chanel, Dior, Versace, and Victoria's Secret. Yet despite her success, Yasmeen hated the term supermodel. She once said, "I've always hated the word supermodel, and I prefer not to describe myself." The diva reputation. Some called her a diva, others called her a perfectionist. Yasmeen didn't just accept anything. She picked her shows, her clothes, and even did her own makeup. "I'm pretty misunderstood, and I don't fault anyone for that because I do come across pretty stern," she explained. "That's just the way I am. I'm a pretty determined person, so I think that's where my reputation comes from." Yasmeen didn't let makeup artists touch her face. Tyra Banks once revealed, "Yasmeen would not let any makeup artist touch her face. She beat her own face and was amazing. I learned how to do my makeup and how to find the light from her." One major reason she did her own makeup was because artists didn't know how to work with her skin tone. Finding foundation shades for women of color was nearly impossible in the 90s. Instead of complaining, Yasmeen mastered her own techniques. The private life. Despite her fame, Yasmeen hated the spotlight. "I never put on makeup when I go out. I don't really like to dress up because I don't want people to look at me. I'd rather dress really ugly. It makes me feel good." Even at her career peak, she preferred simplicity. "I like to go home, put on jeans, and look like crap. I love stuffed animals. I have a collection of them. I sit inside of them and hug them while I watch TV." Imagine being one of the highest paid models but preferring to stay home with stuffed animals. That was Yasmeen, a homebody at heart. Unlike many models, she avoided scandals, parties, and the celebrity lifestyle. She rarely gave interviews and guarded her personal life fiercely. She basically said, "If you want my face, buy a magazine." The exit. In 1997, at just 27 and at her career peak, Yasmeen walked away from it all. Victoria's Secret, Chanel, Versace, She was doing it all. Then she chose family over fame. "I'm hopefully towards the end of my career," she said before retiring. "I say hopefully because I want to get on with my life and have children and experience life. I went from school to work, so I never had the opportunity to discover myself. I'm looking forward to finding out who I am." Her decision shocked the fashion world, but for Yasmeen, it was simple. She didn't want to lose herself in such a demanding industry. Stepping away to protect her peace and values was a move of pure self-respect. She didn't let the industry consume her, which is why her legacy remains untarnished. Life after modeling. After leaving the spotlight, Yasmeen married businessman Ralph Bernstein and had 2 children. She settled into a quiet life in New York, far from the cameras and runways that defined her 20s. Unlike many celebrities struggling to maintain relevance, Yasmeen seemed content with her decision. She didn't attempt comebacks or launch product lines. She simply lived. In 2022, after over 20 years of public hiatus, she joined Instagram, mostly posting old modeling photos and sharing just one recent picture of herself. Even in the age of social media oversharing, Yasmeen maintains her mystery. The legacy. As the first South Asian woman to dominate high fashion, Yasmeen shattered stereotypes and opened doors for countless models of color. But what makes her truly iconic is her authenticity. She once said, "I hope to stay exactly the same because I don't want to be sucked in by the business. Success doesn't have to change your personality. That's greed." Even now, nearly 3 decades after she left, fashion insiders speak of Yasmeen with reverence. Her walk, her presence, her professionalism, they've become legendary. In a world of fleeting fame, Yasmeen Ghauri remains unforgettable. Today, at 54, she continues to live life on her own terms. She proved you can walk away from fame if it means preserving your soul. In an era where everyone seeks the spotlight, Yasmeen's choice to step away feels revolutionary. So, do you think leaving at her peak was the ultimate power move, or do you wish we'd seen more of her? Let me know in the comments.